Hello and welcome to the round 13 fan cams. After the Blues succumb to the Bombers. 6 goals, 16, 52 to the Bombers. 13 goals, 86 in, yet again, the same type of horror show that we've been watching now for, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, minus the Eagles game. That one was a really tough watch. That one was awful for the supporters, and there just seems to be no end in sight to this car crash of a season. It's been spoken about how it was 2021. It had shades of 2021 about it, and lo and behold, we're here again. So it's devastating, but yeah, it's us that'll wear it tonight. So welcome to the fan cams. I'm going to put the link in the chat soon. Got a few people that I'm going to have on shortly, and we'll just get through this one and start the healing process. So let's do that. Pommy.
You all right, mate? How you doing?
I had to pour a glass, mate. Our club, huh? Our club.
I failed to see there's people at the club who swear blind that they love the club. They can't love the club. As like I'm feeling it. I've just seen chat wear it on the watch along. That's love. You can't make the mistakes that we've just seen there if you truly have an iota of love. That worst tackle count for 8 years, lowest pressure rating in a derby, Terry. This is the rivalry. This is the game that you look at in all sports and go, well, you know what? If you shit, at least we'll get up for this because it's a rivalry game. That, fuck me, man. Like, I worry about all my teams in derbies if you play like that. And that was devoid of any shape of form of anything important in sport. That looked like 22 blokes going out there and wanting it to end from start to finish. Do you remember this time last year where we mocked Dyson Heppel for getting them all up and about? I actually think we were worse than Essendon were against us last year.
Yeah.
Like, I remember texting my Essendon mates last year going, I'm not actually going to bully you because I actually feel sorry for you. I've had that same message from my Essendon mates today, that they're not actually going to lay in because they're hurting.
Yep. Where to from here, mate?
It's just, I don't think I've felt this low.
I know, right?
I really don't. I've seen my teams get relegated 3 divisions overnight for doing dodgy tax returns. Do you know what I mean? I thought I was low then. Like, we are in another state of flux, aren't we, man?
This is it's a new low because the 2019 low was still the early part of the rebuild. Teague was just still, a bit more hope, bit more of a club for the future. But like, this is it. This is the group. This is the group that we've invested in, the core group that we've invested in for the future. Like, this is them. So we're going to ride it out with them. I'm mindful to not get caught in the moment and try my best to look long term. But mate, we've been looking long term for many, many years. We're talking about game awareness now. We're talking about skill errors now. It just begs the question: what's happening at training? What type of setup is happening at training? What type of work are they doing on their craft? It begs the question. Like, I can't believe we're talking about craft and fundamentals and the like at this point, but we are. It's truly remarkable.
Should have worried about that when they fucking came into the system, shouldn't they?
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, you're talking Lewis Young playing 20 meters behind. Like, I'm closer to some of my fucking ex-girlfriends than he spent on Peter Wright today. You know what I mean? Like, but we're laughing, Terry, but like, fuck me, man. Like, is this 3 coaches that we have really been that wrong about?
Yeah.
Is it 38 players that genuinely are this bad? Is it really this bad? Like, have I walked, like, some of you lot are born into this. Take a second to step back and go, Pom chose this team. I had a clean slate. I could have fucking supported anyone. But is it this? Like, is this really what is going on? Because I am seeing zero leadership, zero accountability, zero application, zero care factor, zero fucking will, zero want, zero desire. On the other hand, though, I'm seeing 16 Premiership trophies being fucking dusted off, fucking invoking the spirits of the past. What the fuck spirit did we invoke? Fuck me. Exercise that fucker. Like, I just don't get it, because if the players have lost, if Foss has lost the players, I'm asking huge questions on the fucking players. Do you know what I mean? Because tell you what, gentlemen, right? We've signed up in droves. It's time to fucking pay back the faith. It seems to be a forbidden word in Australia. Oh, the players don't play for us. Every other fucking club in the world has that fucking philosophy, and they're paid a shitload more money than these clowns. Do you know what I mean? So there's a little bit of an excuse to be an arrogant fucker. But what you've just seen there is a side give up. Give up. Like, and it's infectious, Terry. Some of them players, man, how do they look themselves in the eye? It's absolutely balmy. Absolutely balmy. Like, you know me, I'm hard on these players, but I don't even think I can be hard on them anymore. Because it's talking to a fucking brick wall, innit? Like, that is a true disgrace. A true disgrace. Every player, everyone up in that boardroom, every member of a coach needs a fucking word with themselves, because that is fucking horrendous. Like, horrendous.
Yeah. It's quite fascinating when you think you've seen the worst. And then, you're looking at the stat sheet. 10 of them didn't lay a tackle in the first half. 6 total tackles in the third quarter. I think it was 33 tackles for the game. And then you finish the game, 7 of them, no tackles. And you're just like, oh, yeah, they can find a way to perform even worse, So, and we're just left with the pieces, I guess. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of like that rhetoric from the club. We're struggling.
Yep.
Get behind us.
Yeah.
What about the 90,000 fucking people? Do you know what I mean? What about the 90,000 people? I got DM'd today from someone that went to Cash Converters, right? Because he's got custody of his kids this weekend. Went to Cash Converters so he could buy his fucking 2 kids some pies and some drinks for this game. Right? That's how low he is. Right? How low he is, down on his luck. And he's fucking gone to see that and sold something valuable to him to do the right thing as a dad. So we hear about their feelings. Fuck me. Come on. 90,000 people backed you in. 90,000. You've got fucking players running out of the contest with one fucking arm. You've got players making the same rudimentary mistakes because they can't be asked to get in front of their man. You've got players... Lewis Young, man, was fucking jogging around for fucking 2 quarters for Bants. Where's the leadership? Where's the care factor? Where's the desire? People tell me about 1995 and these glory years. To me, that sounds like a story. You know, when your father says, oh, when I was a kid, I had to take 2 trains to get a bus 60 kilometers away from school to walk through a minefield. And you think, fucking far-fetched. It feels like it's a fucking joke. Like, I can't believe this side has ever been successful. And fuck, I can't believe what I'm seeing anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Man, you should have seen it at the game. The entries. Like, this may sound warped, but like in a warped way. You know, I'm watching the game and I actually thought, like, behind the ball, I actually think we're relatively okay in terms of the way we've set up behind the ball. Ahead of the ball, it's it's a car crash, mate. You've got like always as the deepest forward, Martin as the deepest forward at times, and then you think
mate, it was Sean Dyche at times though. Like, people are getting excited by the first half. We had 18 men behind the ball. We were kicking to no one in the forward line.
Yeah, man.
Like Voss evidently had gone out today to set up not to lose.
That's exactly what it looked like, honestly. And then there were times, a lot of the time, where I thought, okay, we're actually in a good position here to get a good entry, and we just continue to get let down by the entry, by the execution of the skill. And then you're just like what is it? What do they need? What haven't we done? What resources do they not have to get it right? Like, it's the great unknown, mate. The Carlton Football Club. It's the great unknown. You know, we can sit here and mate, what the fuck's going on? You know,
mate. It's just it's absolutely mind-boggling. Like, you've got TDK dropping uncontested marks, you've got Mitch McGovern dropping uncontested marks, you got poor Paddy Dow having to wait to the 4th quarter for someone to start changing it up. You know, credit to him as well, because there was footage in the 4th quarter of fucking Voss talking to him. Like, by rights, Dow could just fucking ignore him, and I'd shake Dow's hand and say, you've done everything you can, mate. I wouldn't talk to my boss if he treated me like that. What is going on, Terry? Like you've got Brian Cook coming out today saying Voss is safe, but I can't talk about the football department. Just the left hand doesn't talk to the right hand, but it's all right. You knew at some point this week that they would have to fill us up with 95. And boy, oh boy, did they do it. That is what we're successful of. We've become a marketing team. The decision-making is shocking. The standards are shocking. Like, let's be honest. When you've got Patrick Cripps, a Brownlow medalist, running inside 50, and he has got 4 unmarked players inside 50, but he still bombs it to the pocket and it goes out of bounds on the full. What the fuck are we on about anymore? Like, this is basic shit. And I am tired of it. I am tired trying to defend it. I am tired of just hearing this nonsense. Someone needs to, at the club, just be honest, because I am starting to think you go into that board room and we have all these rules. You've got to be a fan for long enough, a member for long enough. How the fuck do you lose the passion to make this many bad mistakes? That's not fucking possible to me. That's maybe not love. That's maybe not love. And we are rudderless. We are empty. We are a shell of whatever you want to say. And I am watching a side that is now, it's not even embarrassing anymore. Do you know what I mean? I've got Collingwood fans and Essendon fans saying, we feel sorry for you. I don't want fucking sorry. I want to be fucking good and proud. And they lost me tonight, Terry. Not the team, because I love the team. But they lost me. Them players gave me 2 fingers tonight when they walked off that ground, because whatever argument you want to make, the players don't like Voss, the players are lost. Fuck me. You're playing your rivals. Show something. Show something, man.
Yeah. Well, Pommy, mate, you'll never lose us. We love what you do. We love what you do with the channel. We love what you do for the community. Thanks for doing the watch along. That would have been tough. I tuned in at halftime from the ground. I watched the final siren from like behind the seats on level 1. It was the first time I've ever stood up and walked behind, that part ever in my life. It doesn't mean anything, but I don't know. On to the future, and you just hope they get it right moving forward.
God is my witness as my ass points down. If there is a membership spill.
Oof. Thanks, mate. Got some tucker. Thanks, mate.
If there is a fucking membership spill, I will promise you all, I will make sure the right fuckers are on that board. Make sure, because it can't go on like this anymore, Terry.
No, it can't.
4 years we've been doing this, bro, and somehow we 4 years in, and we start it as we started it and lost to Essendon.
I know. So, ladies and gents, we met Pommy 4 years ago. He did the review after the Essendon game. It was the first time anybody else had been on the channel. And 4 years later, we lose by, what did we lose by in the end? 34. It was a very similar result. I think it might have been 37. Pommy, good. We'll be here for another 4 years, mate. Take care. You have a great night. Love you.
I love you all. Thank you very much. Stay safe.
The Booze Hound with the 5 says, I played on my phone for the first half. Switched it off into the second. Chucked on Van Dam Legionnaire. What a champion. See you at the studio. Thanks, bro. Ordered with the $80. Thank you very much, mate. Can't imagine what will happen if we lose to Gold Coast next week. Yeah. I had that feeling about tonight. I couldn't imagine what would happen if we lost tonight, let alone lost badly. But here we are. 31 from Glenn. Chin up, Pommy. Thank you, Glenn. Luke with the 5 says, a lot of Blues fans calling for Voss to be sacked, but 3 coaches with basically the same list haven't got the job done. Is it really the coaches? Yeah. It's that cycle of questioning, isn't it? And I don't know. All right, let's go on. Michael.
I feel like this is just we're in a bad boat that just doesn't want to tip, but the water's just coming at us, just boom, boom, and we just stay in it like idiots. I don't know what we're doing, bro. This is a joke. Tonight, I've been going to the footy consistently every single week. I'm going to say for 20 years. And my father instilled in me from the first time I ever went to the football, you never leave early. I picked up my fiance's hand halfway during the third quarter and left.
No way.
So they can go get stuffed. And I have no shame in it at all. At all. I left.
Yeah, because those principles that you were talking about, I'm watching people week by week. Last week it was Joe. It was his first time. This week it's you. I'm watching people leave before half time, bro.
Well, how much more as a supporter base can we take? How much more? We can't take any more of this. I watch other teams surpass us in the way that they not say, it's not even about where they are on the ladder or how, it's the way they play. Yeah. And I'll watch us as a football club and we stand for nothing. We have no ethos, no game plan, no way of doing anything right. It's just, these guys would kick Santa on Christmas Day. That's how unenjoyable they make life. Like, going to the football is supposed to be a pleasant and enjoyable time. And, I actually miss the 2017-18 days when we were shit, and we'd go to the game and just hope, and the hope would give us happiness. Now we're watching this crap, and it's depressing. It's actually depressing. Like, there's no other word for it. It's sad. It's meek, and Pommy said it perfectly. It's rudderless. Absolutely rudderless. And I don't know how much more as a supporter base we can tolerate this. And if I continually hear the club and their PR stints, we need the members behind us because, we really, really, we feed off them. Well, I'll tell you what, next week at 1:10 on Sunday, you're going to be feeding off 20,000 people because there'll be no one there. Absolutely no one. And then you'll sack Voss on Monday if we lose because that's what Carlton does. It's what we do. So at what point are these players and this club going to be held accountable? I'm not talking about another coach. I'm talking about the club. Let's talk about it now. When are they going to be held accountable, this football club and this board and this just everything? The place has an internal rot that will never be fixed. Until you cut the snake's head off, the whole body's just shit. And I don't know what to say anymore. I'm actually out of ideas. I'm actually angry, but I'm not. I don't want to lose it because I don't think I don't want to do it. Fuck them.
No. What for?
Screw them. Well, why should I give them my anger? Eat your food because you deserve to eat more than be angry. Fuck, man,
what are we going to do?
I really don't know. I don't. Like, the other thing as well that they want to continue talking about this list being talented. What's talented about them? Can someone explain to me? Because for me, when I see a talented football team, I see winners. I see or effort at least. I don't see that with a lot of I've said this for years that our bottom 6 to 8 players are just not good enough. They just aren't. If we're carrying Ed Kernow through on his 14th season at the football club, seriously, at what point are we going to say, listen, it's time? There are just, and I'm sorry that I'm singling out Ed Kernow, but there's so many other problems at this club. The declining issue is evident. Brother, you don't want to be there, be done. See you later. McGovern, you don't want to be there, be done. Jack Martin gets injured when a grass blade blows over his calf. Was he injured again tonight? I didn't even see it because I was leaving. Like, I can't, and people are holding hopes on Marchbank and Cunningham coming back into this team. They're going to be our solution, apparently. Is that the solution this football club has? Give us something. The club needs to come out with a statement and not a PR statement, a meaningful, caring statement tomorrow or this week showing us what they stand for. It sounds stupid, but that bloke who went on 3AW all those weeks ago, stand up for the emblem. It doesn't matter about who you are as a person. When you put that jumper on, you play for the Carlton Football Club and you play for us as 90,000 members. So why are you doing this to us? Tell me why. Come out and then we'll back you up again like idiots. It's like we're going around the merry-go-round. I feel like we're having this conversation every week. For you, it's like it's Pommy, Paul, then it's Joe, then it's me, then it's Jad, and then it's Rocco. It's like the same thing.
I love you all, every single one of you. I love all of you.
We're all going insane. We're all going to be in the same asylum in the next 5 years.
Anyway, Michael,
enjoy your night.
It's been a pleasure.
It always has been.
Look after yourself.
You too, brother. Take it easy.
I'll see you next week.
Love you, brother. See you there.
Joe with the 5. Thanks for the red carpet down the middle of the corridor in the third quarter. Fair play. Peter V. Paolo was right. Nuke the joint. I just left the Titanic. Aussie Nick. Only good thing about tonight was the pizza I ate. Yeah, not going to lie. These onion rings are going down a treat. Wazza with the 8. Absolute disgrace. No respect or care for the 90,000 members. Blue Abroad has turned into Arsenal fan TV. I mean, mate, started this in 2018. I really thought by 2023 would be better. What do you want me to do? Anyway. Wildy.
Des.
How are you, mate?
geez, this is as a fan that's followed this club for my whole life, and I've seen the glory days and then I've seen the worst. Yeah, the patience is worn very thin. Yeah, it's a tough watch tonight. It's a tough watch. I don't know. To be honest, I think the club, despite best attempts, I don't think we've embraced the modern way to run a football club and to run a football department. I still think we're playing catch up, rightly or wrongly. But questions have to be asked internally, and I hope they're being asked. Yeah, I don't know.
No spirit. They're just, yeah. It's hard on this side. You don't know what's happening on the inside, but ultimately the game is a window into what's happening at the club for most of us, if not all of us, that turn up every week. And yeah, sometimes you hear the right words and then you just see the different actions.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think that I think 2024 the planning needs to start from now. I think now you've got to start looking at next year and using the rest of this year as a platform to build whatever game plan that is that we're trying to build. You know, seeing who on the list that needs to stay on the list and who wants to be a part of this group moving forward. I think, I think we've come to that I guess that intersection. And unfortunately, it's queuing the rack in terms of finals for this year. Forget about finals. So let's start looking towards planning for 2024. What does that look like? Who knows? The sad thing is we've got, I think, 10 games left, and we've got to sit through this for the next 10 games. So I'm devoid. I'm flat. Everyone's flat. Anger's gone. That left weeks ago. I think it's just now we're just going through the motions.
Round 13, and we're going through the motions.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I was tempted to leave tonight. I took my daughter. She's been a few times, and I was just I stuck around. I stuck around tonight. As much as I didn't want to, but it's she hasn't seen anything. I'm lucky. I've seen 79, 81, 82, 87, 95. So to talk about those with my kids is it's like reading a fantasy book.
It's like, Dad, we want a new version of the book. You're reading us
Exactly. But you know what? We're like everyone's saying, we're still going to follow them. That's the sort of fans that we are. And we showed up tonight. What a crowd! But couldn't do it. We couldn't do the job. Just not good enough for long enough. Simple as that.
Yeah. Well, mate, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks, brother.
Speak to you soon.
See ya.
See ya. $5 from Casper. Carlton couldn't get a root in a brothel. They are that inept up the Dons. Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Not because I want to hear
David.
else. Oh, we're on. Hey, Terry. How you going, mate?
I'm good, mate. Well, I'm not good, but I'm eating, so I'm all right.
Okay, Terry. I'm from Perth, right? Perth, WA. I was there with the Eagles game. Little bit of hope up, but 23 years, Terry, and I'm signing out, mate. Unbelievable, mate. And you know what the worst thing is, mate? I flicked over to the cricket, and it's already over. So I can't even watch the Aussies finish off the Indians.
It's tough times, mate.
It is, mate.
Yeah.
It is.
Who's the young fella?
2000, mate. My next door neighbour. I invited a few people over because I thought, this is the one. This is the one that we might come back. I'll tell you, your videos, Terry, Pom's videos, all you boys over there in Victoria. Honestly, no joke. Get me through the week, mate. And this was it. Broken, mate. Broken.
Fair.
No.
Well,
just.
We do our best, mate. We do our best to just document it all. And unfortunately, we're documenting another train wreck of a season. So, hopefully we can find something for the future now and kind of go from there.
You're right. Like this happens, we feel the pain, and then we just get sucked in, man. We get sucked in, and then we're in. We're fully invested, and then we get this. Oh my fuck.
Yeah.
I wish I'd written stuff down for you. This is just raw coming off my chest.
I appreciate you coming on and sharing your feelings, mate. Thank you very much. And
yeah.
Hopefully,
broken.
Hopefully something
in WA, mate. Broken in WA.
Yeah. Stick with it, mate.
Broken in WA, mate. Broken. Thanks, buddy.
Right.
Cheers.
You have a good night. Bye. Ed.
Terry, good to see you, mate.
Likewise, my friend.
Hey, mate, I reckon most times I've been fairly upbeat, but this is going to be hard.
They broke you?
Yeah, it broke me a bit tonight for sure. Just that third quarter, I just sort of sat there and I was like, I'm not too sure how much more I can take of this, like right in the game and just in general for the year. But just echoing a few of what other people said, like going the footy for me it's literally one of the favorite things I can do with my whole life. But this year has been about as unenjoyable as I can remember. I remember getting smashed in sort of 04 and still enjoying it a bit more than the last 6 or 7 weeks. It's been brutal. But I think it was you that said about 10 minutes, mate, on to the future. So, look, I wrote a few notes down just about like, what's the issue here and what's the potential solution. And I think I've talked with you ad nauseum about just our foot skills and how bad they are. And I think it's got to the point now, and someone talked about preparing for 2024. I reckon we basically need to put blokes into groups of good foot skills, average foot skills, poor foot skills. And then based on that, we make decisions as to whether or not they should stay on the list. If they're in that poor foot skills group, they've got to bring something else to the table. Like let's talk about Cripper. And I don't want to be harsh on Cripper because I love the bloke. But he's got poor foot skills, but at least he brings something else to the table. He wins contested ball. So that's a tick, he stays. But there's other blokes that don't bring stuff like that. And they've got to go. They've got to go. Everyone has to be considered in that conversation. If we want to be an elite football club, everyone has to be part of that conversation, no matter how much they are a favourite son. So that's the first thing around foot skills. Second thing is some of the decision-making tonight around do we give one more handball or do we just whack it on the boot? It's like when we needed to give one more handball, we'd smack it on the boot. And we needed to smack it on the boot, we gave one more handball. It was borderline funny at times when we would make the wrong decision. So I guess the question I have for you and for any Carlton fans out there is that a coaching thing or is that a decision-making thing by a player in the moment? Is that the footy IQ that we're talking about? And if it's a coaching thing, and I don't want to jump on any bandwagon about Voss, but if it is a coaching thing, that's got to change, or we have to change coaches. It's as simple as that, because that was so problematic tonight. The amount of times we made the wrong decision about whether to kick or handball, and let's face it, that's a pretty fundamental football decision. I've got the ball. Should I kick or handball it? I mean, that's pretty basic stuff. But I reckon the most concerning thing of tonight is that the third quarter, where they kicked, 7 or 6? The way that they kicked that, they beat us at our own brand. That was just contested footy That was just will. That was just hunting the ball. That's the type of stuff we've actually been okay at this year. We just haven't been able to execute. I don't reckon we touched the ball for the first 10 minutes. And it was just, we just could not stop their intensity. And that's actually really concerning for me. That makes me think to a degree that this group, whether it's losing faith in the game plan or Voss or each other, but they're beginning to drop their heads. And I don't know what next week looks like, but I'd be ringing the changes because of the way that third quarter went down. So I don't know how many solutions I've actually provided for next week, but in terms of what 2024 looks like, I just think if you can't kick the footy, you can't pull on a Carlton Guernsey. Like you just can't. You can't pull on any AFL Guernsey really. But
yeah, well, it's that game awareness of what to do, when to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I'm torn between thinking about, was he in the right place? Was that a structure thing? Or was he just so crippled by the pressure that he couldn't, was there nothing ahead of the ball? I think I mentioned earlier, I thought the structure behind the ball was okay. But the structure behind the ball was okay. The structure ahead of the ball, I don't know. I'm not a mastermind of football. I'm a fan. So I'm very limited in what I know, but how many times do you watch it break down before you think you know that something's not right?
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. I mean, here's the reality: if there's absolutely no structure in the forward line, it doesn't matter how good a kick you are. If you've got the ball streaming into the forward 50, you're going to look like a goose because there's nothing to kick to. So whose fault is that? Is that the kicker's fault? Is that the forward's fault? Is that the coach's fault? It's probably a bit of everybody. But we got to sit down and we got to fix it. And yeah, I think at the end of the year, we should actually be looking to trade potentially a really top tier player for someone in the midfield who is a really good kick. I don't want to ruffle any feathers throwing some names out there, but I mean, I'd look at. He just signed a monstrous deal, but I'd say Harry Mackay's on the table as trade. And I know it's a big call, and people be like, "Oh, really?" But that's the type of names where we're going to actually get something back for. We can't offer up Jack Silvani and expect to get an A-grade midfielder. That's not happening. So, yeah, mate, I've lost my chain of thought now. Now I'm waffling.
Change is coming. No, I appreciate you coming on. It's tough. It's very difficult for people to talk on it. So, but I always enjoy talking to you. And man, thank you for joining. And have a good Sunday night. And I'll see you next week.
Yeah, you will, mate. Thanks, Terry.
All right, see you, mate.
Cheers, mate.
It's very tough. Adrian.
Terry, how are you? Aside from the obvious.
Fed. Yeah. It was a death tonight, wasn't there? I mean, it's been there for a few weeks, but tonight was just, if they were going to do anything this year, it was just kind of like, all right, your arch rival, you find a little something else. We're beating a dead horse, expecting it to do something at the moment. It seems that way, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty flattening. I mean, the signs are there as far as I'm concerned against St Kilda.
Yeah.
I didn't like what I saw. Came out and beat West Coast, did the job there. And then ever since then, it's back to reality.
Yeah.
I agree with a lot with what your previous viewer said, Ed. If this club had any set of kahunas or any set of balls, they should be making some very hard decisions at the end of this year, because it goes one of two ways. If they want to hit the draft like Brian Cook mentioned on radio a few weeks ago, they need to bolster some of their picks. And by doing that, I'd say be putting some big names on the table. And he did mention that Mackay just signed a contract. Cripps is contracted to whenever. Charlie, as far as I'm concerned, Charlie's the only player that should not be on the table. Now, I know that he's captain, but I'd be dangling the carrot with Cripps. And a lot of people will disagree, and that's fair enough. I just think this group of players, Terry, like everyone wants to talk about the coach, and that's fair enough. There are some parts of our game which will lie with the coach. But the reality is this group of players are on the verge of getting 3 coaches sacked. Come on now. I'm not sure how many more coaches are are going to fix this particular group. And the reason why I suggest some of these players should be put up for trade is this group needs to be separated. It needs to be broken up. It's not going to impress a lot of people, but some of these players have been there or part of this system or part of this rebuild for in excess of 6 or 7 years. I mean, to me, I watch them the last 3-4 weeks, and they just look mentally fragile. And dare I say, you may have said it with one of your viewers last week, but the way and the circumstances surrounding the ending of 2022, in my opinion, I think it's fucked them. And no one can actually change my mind. I watch them. They don't resemble people that are representing a big club in this competition. As an AFL player, you have that aura, you have that strut, you have that self-belief and self-confidence, or you should have it, but they don't look anything like it. Now, that might be coaching, because as far as I'm concerned, coach's job is to best prepare his group. The moment they walk out, it's all up to them. No?
It's a tough one, mate. It's a tough one. I'm really curious to see how the fans do in the next, 10, 11 weeks now. Because, I don't know, part of my mind goes to, well, the pressure's going to come off soon because finals is out of the question. And then we're going to see a little bit more mental freedom from them. And then that's only going to make everyone more frustrated. But we've got to wait and see. The admin of the club at the moment, they're steadfast. They're on radio before the game saying, nah, we're going to back him in until the end of the year. So we'll see what they do.
I did notice that. I saw that about 10 or 15 minutes ago that Brian Cook did come out and say it, which is some form of vote.
Yeah.
But at the same time as well, we know in this industry that these things can change really quick. And you said, like, it'd be interesting to see what happens for the rest of the year. I mean, the actual damage is done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are they rocking up there for fun? Like McGovern, is he rocking up for fun? Like, I'm not singling him out in particular. It's the actual whole group. Like, I was speaking to someone that I know close. So I'm not dropping names. I can tell you now, Harry Mackay at the club, he doesn't speak to no one. He's that bereft of confidence.
Right.
He doesn't speak to anyone at the club. Saad doesn't want to be there. A player from another club had a meeting with his manager, with Carlton, and goes, you guys need to get better if you want me to come. Now, what are we going to do? Pay him the club is just a mess from top to bottom, and the board. Mate, I don't have 3 hours. I don't think you have 3 hours to talk about it, but it's a shambles. It's a joke. It's a laughing matter.
Yeah.
The rest of the comp is even laughing at us. But anyway. Appreciate you having me on, Terry. Thank you, mate.
Mate, appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. And we'll speak soon.
No dramas, mate. Ta.
All right. See you, bro. Thomas with the 8. Remember when you all thought Vossi was the answer? Sucked in. Yeah, I guess so. $8. At the end of last year, we removed our president, CEO, and coach, and it was a complete circus. Rip the Band-Aid off and do it now. Love the channel. Thank you, mate. Luke with the 15. Voss said, long way until the end of the year, still 10 games. How will we improve with this list and can't win these winnable games? Yeah. Serious questions. Luca.
Last week, that the quote came out from, I think it was last week, Mick Malthouse came out with that quote. When I was at Collingwood, they had a massive windscreen. When I rocked up at Carlton, there was a big rear view mirror, and mate, did that rear view mirror really shine tonight? remembering Parkham. Let's go to the Carlton Hawthorn game and throw a function for Parkham. Let's show every 16 premierships tonight. Congratulations. Hey, sign more members up for 2023. Ooh, it's great. Mate, I reckon someone needs to ring Schnapper tonight and check on him because that bloke, honestly, he the guy that called up 3AW, he'd be going off, I reckon. I think he's given up. But yeah, look, when Teague got sacked, we had the opportunity as a club to change, to really cement a brand, to really stand up for what we were. And I think, and I'll be honest, the board got to choose the football, the changing over of hands, and there were a lot that still stayed. The fact that Sayers is still there with everything going on with PwC and now emails coming out with his doing in PwC, I know they're accusations, but mate, that bloke, honestly,
you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that.
We do have to be careful with that, but I'm sorry, you've got a company that you were the CEO of, that you were running, that is now getting looked at, and you're representing the football club.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, you've got to stand down. There's just things you got to stand down with, and I mean, you got. I feel sorry for the fans that do boo the players and then try to get called out by fans on social media, because if I was performing the way that some of them do every week at work, I'd be sacked. There's no booing, try again next week. It'd be, sorry, mate, find somewhere else that will accept that. And then the other thing is, like, I've been a member for years, and in the Carlton member beta tonight, there were, I reckon, a third or a fourth of them were Essendon supporters. How? I don't understand how, as a club, we allow it. How supporters we allow it. And then, you do have supporters having a go at MCG staff. I don't condone having a go at the staff because it shouldn't be their job. I mean, it is their job at the end of the day, but how do you allow it? I mean, there's just so much wrong with the club right now that you just don't know where to start. It's actually, we've got Lego pieces everywhere and we've got the instructions somewhere, and we just put them together and we'll work it out.
Yeah, you can't point to one thing because one thing is tied to another three things, and those three things are dependent on the future and if this guy stays. But if he doesn't stay, but he does, but the Constitution, it's too deep. It's too much of a tank.
Throw it out and go buy a new one and start again. It's almost like that. And, you mentioned before, how we were set up tonight, and then it's the front. We're solid in defence, and when you go to the front, it breaks pieces. It's been the same thing since Bolton. The only difference, in my opinion, between Teague and Voss is that Voss has Charlie. That's it. That's the only difference.
Fair.
Charlie last year was great. He won the Coleman medal. There's a good chance that he may win it again this year. We haven't moved anywhere. We didn't make finals with Voss last year. We just missed out. I mean, geez, it sucked. But, we rocked up to the game against Adelaide. We lost. We lost the game against St Kilda. Why did we lose to St Kilda? We kicked 18 points. Look, it's the same issue still there. Our front half is crap. Our small forwards, I'll be very honest, put them in the bin. Start again. We had the chance to go get Papley, and we didn't. We didn't. We cooked that up. We were too slow. I'm sorry, but we're too slow on the field. We're too slow off the field. And it's, I understand that the board isn't involved with the playing group in how they play, but the decision-making to get the players, to develop the players, it all starts at the board. We have been really bad for years at developing young kids, and unfortunately it's continued.
Yeah. Luca,
anyway,
you make some
I'll
great
leave you
points.
to it.
Thanks very much.
Have a good one, mate.
See you, mate. Joseph.
You almost forgot my name.
No, I have Shannon next to you. I thought I clicked her, but mate, I got your pretty face on screen, so it's all good.
Good evening.
Good evening. Did you go?
I did. I actually did.
Wow.
Yeah. I love the Carlton Essendon games. I always have, man. Yeah, can't miss that one. Was it after the Dogs game? I remember I didn't go to that. I said to you, we're happy to call it season done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Mhm.
It's amazing. I actually looked up. I didn't even look it up. I just like sussed it out on AFL.com.au on the app. I saw a stat that I made up myself, pretty much. We've kicked more than one goal in the first quarter only once in the last, I think, 6 rounds. And that was against Brisbane.
Wait, is that a real stat?
I'm pretty sure there's a real stat. I quit because I saw it. I'm like, 1 goal 6, fantastic. I'm like, this is becoming a trend. I'm like, so I look back and I'm like, okay. And then there was one game we kicked no goals, which was Doggies, I'm pretty sure, because you got 0 goals 3. I think it was Brisbane we kicked 3 goals. And before that, I can't remember the lot. Yeah, but I'm thinking it was within 5 or 6 rounds, we've only kicked over more than 1 goal once.
Yeah.
In the first quarter.
My question to you is, how do you feel about the rest of the season? What comes to mind?
Yeah, no, it's finished, man. It's done. It is what it is. So, I guess win the games you can try to win. Look forward to next year. This is big Teague vibes, man. This is major Teague vibes. Like, it's just look forward to next year. The season's done halfway through. And someone said, I think, was it the Voss that said in the press conference after that there's 10 more rounds to go?
I don't know. Haven't heard it yet. So
I don't know. But at least I got my my Charlie Kerner bobblehead. Yeah, so you had to actually register for this via email through Hyundai.
That gets you part of the email marketing list, mate. So
there was also a QR code at the game that you could sign up, and you didn't actually have to show your registration. You're giving it to everyone. They're giving it to Bombers fans.
Fair. Anyway,
the shambles. But
anyway,
next week, man.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you coming on, man.
And giggle anytime. Have a good evening. Take care.
I'll speak to you. DC with a 2. Voss is still growing into the job. We need a now. Baked with the 5. Seen similarities from Port and Carlton when Voss was an assistant for us. Oh, you're a Port fan? That bomb in long stat will never work. Like copy of Port's strat in 2019. JD with an 8. Like Mark always says, ruthless aggression. We haven't had genuine ruthless players for over a decade now. Yeah, that's true. Shannon.
Hello.
Hello.
One thing I asked for. One thing I asked for was to come home and be happy. No. What did I say last week? I actually said it last week that I'm going to come home and I'm going to be the one disappointed. And it's like I prophesized this. Like, you can't.
What now, mate? Now what?
About 10, I reckon. I actually cried in my seat halfway through that third quarter. I actually had tears streaming down my face. Not because I was upset that we were losing. I was upset at the fact that how we were losing and how easy the transition was into their forward line and how easy their forwards had it. Like what is going on? Like, I can't put my finger on it anymore. And 6 goals, 16 is just absolutely putrid. Like, fuck me.
It kills you, doesn't it? You want to get behind them and you want to make noise and you want to get behind something, and it's just so deflating. And it must be deflating for them on the field. It must be deflating for them in the coach's box. The fans are deflated, and then it just keeps piling up. Like the mistakes and the errors and the entries, it just keeps piling up, and they just keep finding a new way to
piss me off.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
It's like when you thought they couldn't piss you off or find ways to piss you off, they find a new way to piss you off.
Right.
And it's just the basics. Like, I'm happy they challenged the corridor tonight. That's probably the first time they've challenged the corridor in a while. And we took the game on. Like, Sardi got more of the ball. We started to run with the ball more. It's just that when we did so, the execution just was non-existent. Like, I'm happy that they've decided to go, all right, we've got nothing to lose here. Let's just take the game on. Yep. Cool. Great. This is what we want. Fantastic. Hit a fucking target. Hit a fucking target. Come on. Blake Acres meant to be the best kick in the league. Kicks it out of bounds in the full.
Yeah, I know.
Bonza. Sweet.
He wasn't alone. Old Blakey boy, he was not alone.
Oh, yeah. Fuck me. Chincotta kicks the first goal. I'm like, we're on here.
Me too. Same. I'm like, oh, he's the backman. He's not meant to be kicking goals. This is a sign. Ugh.
Of what? Shit to come.
Yeah, I know.
Look, I'm proud that at least Harry kicked a set shot goal tonight, drop punt.
Yep.
Give him that.
I'll give him that.
But some of the
No, I'm not giving him anything, Shan. I'm not giving him nothing, mate. They should be better. Come on.
We know that.
They should be better. They are better than this. So
we know this, yeah.
You know.
Well, the Essendon Grog squad were on in full voice tonight, chanting "Don't sack Voss." That was fun. Then they tried to start a chant "We hate Carlton," and that just didn't work. Then they started chanting "We are Essendon." So I'm like, great, I'm going to punch someone tonight.
Yeah.
Got out of there alive. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh well. And guess what? We're going to be sucked in and be there at 1:10 next Sunday at the G to watch us a bit belted by Gold Coast. Aren't we just the suckers?
Yeah. No expectations. Other than actually, I don't know. We'll get to Sunday next week. We got to get through the cycle of therapy now. You know, we got to get through this.
That's it. I'm jumping on a plane to the Gold Coast tomorrow, so I'll be back just in time for the Gold Coast game. But I'm getting out of Melbourne. Probably the smartest decision I've ever made.
Fair enough. Well, you have a safe flight, and
I will.
See you next week.
See you next week. Have a good night.
Bye. You too.
Bye.
See you, man. Jad.
Hey, back. Sorry, I'm just having HSP here.
Bro, I'm with you. I got Lord of the Fries.
You
know we're vegan? Lord of the Fries?
Yeah, I did. And
I didn't
that's
know.
probably why they're so expensive. I was like, what the fuck are these prices, man?
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that's like their whole thing, apparently. Yeah, whatever. Don't know, bro. It's just, it's fucked. I can't really say what other people, everyone's already touched on it, but
yeah.
It's
What's there left to critique, mate? Honestly,
well, I've got a whole list here, man. I've got dot points and fucking everything. I don't even know where to begin.
Do you watch from home?
I went to a pub.
How's the entries, mate? How's the state of the entries?
It looks worse on TV because
Really?
you just see aimless kicks that is just covering grass. There's no one there, and there's people in the pub laughing. There's Essendon supporters next to me, just whatever. But look, man, Cripps, the skipper, strip him.
Of the captaincy?
Strip him of the captaincy.
What makes you say that?
You tell him now, and you announce it at the end of the year. I've seen enough. He is either not doing what the team needs, or he's playing for himself, or he's not listening to his coaches, or what? Like it's unbelievable, Terry. How many more times can he let us down in the big moments? I am sick of it. It has to end. He's not a fucking captain. I'm sick. I'm sick of it. I don't care about their feelings anymore. I don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about me. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a fuck on the levels that we hope they would. How many more times can he let the team down? Sorry, you there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Sorry,
tough
the
one.
screen. Nah,
No, you're
strip
right.
him, Voss, sack him. Nah.
And bring in who? And who? Like fair, but like bring in who?
Yep. Well, I'm getting to it. So before he goes, Sayers steps down, Diesel steps down, Kinnersley goes. She can fuck right off. I don't give a fuck. They can all go, and whoever the next people that come in are, they make the decision on the next coach. I do not trust them to make any more decisions. It's embarrassing, Terry. They don't deserve to make any more calls. The members, our supporters. We don't deserve this. I'm really not into feeling sorry for myself, but they don't deserve whatever the fuck's going on out there. We have smashed membership records. We've set record attendance, all on hope. And mate, the most concerning thing today, honestly, other than Cripps, because I'm really worried about that. But after that first Essendon goal in the third quarter, I actually saw them give up. On the first goal, they gave up.
Yeah.
It's very evident that there are players right there right now who don't want to be there. Like, I think McGovern's checked out. His nose is gone. A lot of them know that they won't be there next year. And it's really fucked that with round 13 and we have to put up with this. But no, they actually gave up today. They don't want to be there. There are players there who don't want to be there, and I'm not accepting it. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh well, let's trust them to fix it. They're not going to fix it, mate. Everything that these executives say from now on is job preservation. Cook today, we back Voss until the end of next year. Are you even going to be there? Like, everything they say is preservation. I don't take everyone, like, take nothing of what they say as the truth anymore, because it's not. They don't know. They're going to be gone very soon. How the fuck can we believe any word that comes out of their mouth?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if he says, we back him in. Bullshit, you back him in. Bullshit. And the players, like, you saw that ball where Owies and Kerno just let it go. You know what that is, bro? Like, we've spoken about it so many times. That is, they don't have the hard conversations with each other. It's like, if there was any doubt over it, that's all gone now. They don't have hard combos. Charlie, watch it goes by. How is? Sorry, mate. Oh, fuck. Did they even talk about it after? Did Charlie roast him? You're the big forward. You're the rooster. That's your ball every day of the week. You don't stand there and decide, maybe Owies will mark it. No, you're the big dog. You fucking mark the fucking ball. Grow the fuck up. Grow up. Just grow up or leave the club. Grow up or get the fuck out of the club. I don't care anymore. I fucking don't. I don't care about feelings. I don't care. Fix my club.
Yeah.
Fucking fix it.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Everyone, deep breath. Have a chip.
Fuck the chip.
Yeah. No, man.
Sorry, bro.
Listen,
I'm just no.
No, mate. That's the way you feel. This is all but part of the cycle of what we're going to do now to get to next week. It's not even about building up hope for next week. To be honest, the way I see this now, we just got to get through the year.
Well,
Tuesday I was saying extend Voss, back him in. Mate, I'm lost. I'm so lost. So
it looks untenable, bro. It looks untenable now. There's no way. There's absolutely no way.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. Well, like I said to you, the players can't keep having a scapegoat for them. I'm more on the side of let the players feel it first before the head coach. But I understand the buck stops at the top and communication, and so I don't know.
Look,
I don't know.
I'm not just asking for the head coach. I'm asking for the skipper to stand out. Like,
department.
this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look, the players will look. Most of you can't just get rid of the whole list. We've seen it with other clubs. Look, Essendon were a basket case last year, and now they're light years ahead of us. A lot can change with the right appointments, and I don't think it's the fact that we keep sacking coaches. Oh, we keep sacking the coaches. We've got to break the cycle of sacking the coaches. If he's not the right guy, no amount of backing him in is ever going to change it.
Yeah.
Ever.
Anyway,
mate. All right.
Jad, love you to death.
Love
and,
you. Love you too, bro.
I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too, man. Jimmer.
Hey, Taz, how's it going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm here with my lady friend over here. We're in Holland, in the Netherlands.
Wow.
And unfortunately, I got her to join the Carlton.
1.5 years ago.
Yeah. So she's been a part of the journey, as they call it, the journey, since 2021. But she was a smart cookie. She got a family member to actually make the scarf, unlike yourself paying the $80.
$85.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your name?
This is Vera and Dimitri.
Vera and Dimitri. Wow, from the Netherlands. The Blues
From the
abroad.
Netherlands, yeah. I was born in Carlton, in Melbourne. Then I moved here around 10 years ago. Still following the football. Love the fact that you have the channel, like the Blue Abroad stuff, watching the jumper punch, and definitely would love Rocco to be the coach. That'll be for sure. But watching the game, as a supporter, I turned to my right last year with the Collingwood game, the Melbourne game, just by under a goal or something like that. Seeing Vera cry, especially getting like a loved one to support the club, and knowing every single player really is fully embracing it. And then to just see this garbage, this absolute, especially Essendon, Collingwood. Okay, I get it, no doubt. But my best mate, he's an Essendon supporter. But you look at it all, and the math is not mathing. We got 2 Coleman medalists back to back. We got a reigning Brownlow medalist. And my question is, Ross Lyon, why did he back out? That's one thing to look at. And when I look at Vossi, and I look at someone like Craig McRae, and you see Steele Sidebottom smiling, and they're all having such a wonderful time. There's so much cohesion. I think not Brad Scott, Michael Voss couldn't coach pigs to be dirty. I really mean it. I look at it all in all, and whether it's at Brisbane, but maybe it's the assistant coaches. They have Brendan Bolton. Hear me out. Maybe he's great as an assistant coach. Leper, but who's backing up Voss? And the Pies in 2021, right? They're dead. They're second last on the ladder, and we've been. I think when 2013 was the last finals. So it's like the math. It's not mathing. And the one last thing I would say, just out of curiosity, is Sam McClure on the Footy Classified talking about there's fractions or there's splits in the club. He doesn't want to divulge information. More than fine. And Vossi's like, what are you talking about? Everything's more than fine here. Don't listen to the outside noise.
And we're just not learning. We're not progressing.
No,
it
not
just
at
feels
all.
like the same show every time. We keep kicking to the other people. Like Dimitri said, I've not watched the game for a long time, and even I can see that something's wrong.
Yeah. So as someone from the outside of Australia to watch this, they're like, is that normal to be doing this? And I'm thinking, well, you lower the eyes, you find a target. And she goes, but we have 2 Coleman medalists. What does that mean? It means they scored the most goals in that season. Okay, but what are they doing? And I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fascinating listen to hear Vera. You talk, and obviously, you're new to the game, but to pick it up so quickly of the issues. So, maybe we're not crazy as fans after all, seeing what we're seeing and saying what we're saying. But guys, thanks for tuning in. This is really cool. And Dimitri, you're right. This is really, why the channel was created. So everyone from around the world who supports can tune into something and feel something. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and calling in. And
it just sucks because if we got into the top 8, I would go to Australia for my first time ever. I've never actually been to Australia.
Yeah, the mum was being really sweet. She said, like my mum, she was a Collingwood supporter when she was young, but being a wog, my dad at the time said, oh, go for Carlton, blah blah blah, and we stuck with it. Kudafides, love that guy, no doubt. But my mum said to me, if Carlton makes the top 8, you'll go to Australia. I'll pay for the ticket for you and for Vera. So every game we watch, it's just a knife in the back. And but yeah, Gold Coast, we'll get the W. Sure.
We'll see you next week, guys.
All right, take care, Taz.
See ya. Thanks for calling in. You guys in the chat, some of you need to pull your fucking heads in. Straight up. You're pathetic. Caleb.
How you going, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Lots to unpack, really. So this is my first time being on the show, so I don't really know kind of where to start. But yeah, I just was full of hope. Every week I get excited, think, oh, this is a week we're just going to turn it around. We'll go on a roll, and we'll just kickstart the season. But tonight was damning for a few things. I think early on we looked great. I think we attacked the corridor. Obviously the execution wasn't great, but we haven't attacked the corridor much this year, so you can't expect to just be hitting every single target. Essendon's pressure was enormous, so you're not going to hit every target. And then the third quarter, they chucked Merritt forward. We didn't react to that quick enough. Ed should have gone with him. It should have never been on who was McGovern or whoever was on him. I think, Curnow should have followed him forward. I think he was playing on Stringer, and Stringer was just pushing him aside like it was nothing. The only reason Ed's in the side is to play on Merritt, and he didn't have a tackle all night. How can a tagger not have a tackle? And I'm not trying to single out him, but if that's what he's in the team for and he's not filling that role, then what's the point? I'd rather, play Dow in there and just don't tag. Just let everyone go man to man.
It's a weird one because Merritt was definitely
nullified.
Impacted, nullified. Yeah. He had the 18 on the night, kicked a goal, still had an impact, but nowhere near the impact that he usually does have. So it's weird. Ed didn't get it, didn't lay a tackle, but still somewhat, kept Merritt pretty honest. But yeah, you're right. Ed is one of many conversations at the moment. We've got a fundamental skill issue at the moment with the team.
I think people, obviously, we're all upset, we're all frustrated, we're all flat, but we were 1 point away from making finals. We loved Cripper last year, we love Charlie this year, and look how quick people turn on the players. It's. I get that we're not playing how we should be and how we want to be. Absolutely, I'm devastated, mate. I've got a massive tattoo of Cripper on my leg that big. I've sat in the rain to 140-point losses. I've seen it all as well. Yeah. But it's like we have to rally around the players right now. And I know it's cliche to say that, but we're all loving Cripper last year. In that game against Collingwood, he couldn't have done anything more last year. So don't tell me he's not at home now hurting. You can't, and people go strip him of the captaincy. You're kidding me. He's heart and soul, mate. He's that mentally dejected and sore because every week he cops it. No one ever puts a block on for him. He's in and under the pack, getting it out for everyone else. Obviously, he's down on form, but everyone is. And I know, being the big club, we have those expectations and we've been starved of success, but we've just got to, calling for trade Mackay, strip Cripper. We just need to just low down a little bit. There's still 10 games left. The season's probably gone. Let's see what Voss can do in these 10 weeks without that pressure now. Because I think we put finals on a pedestal so much, it's just shattered the group. You can see every move they make, they're not sure. I mean, we've had that many, shots on target these last 6 weeks. So the game plan might not be fully developing, but you can see that we're having the shots. Like, they're coming. If we convert some of those shots earlier this game, we'd be 4 or 5 goals up at halftime tonight. But we're not getting that. We're not getting the, like what Vossi does say, the nourishment. Like, we're dominating the game. Don't get it. Essendon go down and Wright kicks 2 goals. And it just changes the whole momentum going into halftime. And yeah, we weren't good enough tonight. The third quarter, I think we had 4 tackles, which is the real damning thing, I think. Against, big rivals in a serious game, you can't be having 4 tackles in a quarter. So there definitely needs to be adjustments, and I think the bottom 6 players definitely need to be probably dropped, and Cunningham needs to come in next week, no doubt in my mind. I'd probably be playing Binns, Fisher type, stuff like that. I think Motlop's got to go to the 2s for a little bit. I don't think he's providing enough spark, and as a small forward, their duty is to kick goals, and they're just not doing that. And the whole team isn't, I know, but look at all the good clubs, and their small forwards are elite. And we should have really gone hard after a small forward, I think. I don't think going after Hewitt and stacking our midfield so deep, well, what else do we have? I think we should have kind of gone after a really big small, maybe another key position and another ruckman, because TDK is going to be gone, and then we're just going to have Pitto and Murkov, and it's then what?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of things that we need to address in the off season, but definitely got to back in Voss for the rest of the year. Season's pretty much gone. No matter who we get now, you could get Clarkson in his prime. We're not making finals probably, so I think just see out the year, reassess, have a look at some options. TDK's gone for me. Get rid of him. That's fine. He's not worth what he's demanding. I think McGovern's always a whipping boy, but he's the only one that takes the ball onto the middle every single time. I love his endeavour and intent. Drops a lot of marks, I know, but like that comes down to confidence. The whole group's not confident at the moment. So, yeah, there's just lots to unpack, and it could go on for another 5 hours. But, yeah, this is,
Mate, You've done well. You've done well. Appreciate you coming on, man. Is this your first time on the fan cams?
Yeah, it actually is.
Also. Well, mate, welcome to the fan cams, and good stuff. And, hope to see you again next week.
No, thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.
All right, man. See you, Caleb.
Thanks, mate.
Momo.
Hey, Tess, can you see me?
I can see you, bro. How are you?
What's going on, my man? I've been watching you for many years, but this is the first time I've had the courage to actually jump online, man.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Nah, thank you. Look, I've always remained, a very positive person, but it just seems to me that this club is run like a business, and unfortunately, we the fans or supporters, we're the investors, the shareholders, and the board management, as long as they see those membership numbers going up, to them they've done a really good job. And I'm always on these fan pages and making comments and writing up posts, and I mean, a lot of fans had a go at me a couple of weeks ago when I said, Cripps. I just think that he's the first person to endorse these coaches, going back to Teague, going back to Voss, and then, that argument, or supposed argument that they had caught on camera, him and Voss, was it a couple of weeks ago? I just think that he's then the first person to tap out. I don't, a couple of callers ago, he's a regular on this show. Sorry, I didn't get his name, but he needs to be dropped. Not just the captaincy. He actually needs to be dropped. His skills.
It's an interesting one. I said it's an interesting one because we saw with Port Adelaide, like they didn't play Tom Jonas because they'd won 8 in a row at the time, and it's an interesting one if you ask the question.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, you could argue that who was Voss, who was he an assistant to? Hinckley. Now, I actually really love Hinckley, the way he goes about it. It's very balanced. He's got that compassion. I'm alongside you. I'm beside you. I'll wrap my arms around you. But at the same time, he's ruthless. And now he's reaping the rewards. So, I ask myself, well, Voss, if you were under Hinckley for so many years, he's taught you all these skills. Why aren't you utilizing them? And, and I just think that certain players in this team run this show, and Cripps being one of them. You got another player, Young, so many goals. Like tonight, unless he's willing to change his attitude, along with actually wanting to physically put his body on the line, he too needs to be sent to VFL and remain there until he does. There was a time where Silvani was pointing to him, to go to that 2-meter Peter and follow him around. And, Young refused to pay attention. There was actually eye contact there, and a goal was scored. And I'm glad Silvani actually had a crack at him. Where were the other leaders? Where was Wittering? Another thing, I mean, people having a go at Voss, can he coach? Can't he? I mean, look, if it was his instructions tonight, the forwards to clear the forward 50 and play on the wing, then that's on him. And, the onus is on him and he'll wear that. Then you got other players, the player that I initially thought will be our future captain in Sam Walsh, one of a few who does try, but then his disposals by foot and now by hand, it's absolutely, it's atrocious.
Yeah.
And then he actually lacks awareness, which is becoming a problem, and it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, he's missing. He's missing something, mate. It's team wide. It's widespread.
It is. And then Sam Doherty. I mean, what can I say? Doesn't bother to tackle. There was a passage of play in the center, and then I heard him on 3AW, and it's like he's blaming the fans. He said something along the lines of, I know the fans are frustrated, but we're actually building something big. What are you building? Like, I don't understand. There's a lack of leadership, lack of energy, lack of skill, lack of awareness, all recipe for disaster. And then, I dare people to rewind the footage, and that inside 50 entry when we had Charlie, and I think it was always looking at each other, lack of communication between them, and sadly, I'm afraid that we won't win another. To be honest with you, I think harsh but real calls need to be made, and I think a few players in our team, there's a bit of arrogance here, and this has been building up for so many years.
We've got to keep moving, but yeah.
Sorry, all right, cool, man. All right, thank you very much, bro.
Yeah, I just want to say that was good to listen to, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing. I've got 10 more in the waiting room, and
all good, man. See you later, bro.
Appreciate the support, bro. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, peace out.
See you, man. Anthony.
Terry, mate, how are you?
Good, mate. Thank you for waiting.
Oh, no dramas, mate. I'm from the Goulburn Valley. Took the train down, all excited.
Wow.
Me and my dad, we actually went down. We were actually at the Collingwood Carlton game, and we are both passionate Carlton supporters, and we love this club through thick and thin. I actually had a few friends back in 2018, back in the Bolton years, and they are actually, one of them was Richmond and one of them was Collingwood. They said to me, watch our side in the coming years.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to develop. Now it's just crashed, and I just don't know what's happened. I think we lack a bit of skill, and that's all I can say. Pretty much everyone said everything. But the biggest thing is, everyone was actually walking out at quarter 4. I saw no dramas, hundreds of people at the train station. And it was actually very hard for me to walk out. I actually hear them. I was actually talking to a couple of Essendon supporters, and they're just like, there was no competition in a big rivalry. I do consider Essendon Carlton more of a bigger rivalry than Carlton Collingwood because of the 16 v 16.
Yeah, it's a bit more. There's a bit more at stake, isn't there?
Yeah, and to see 10 behinds at halftime shattered me.
So, mate, my question to you is, what happens for the rest of the year?
Oh my gosh, Terry. The biggest thing is, I'd say drop Motlop and bring in Cunningham. That's a big must, because I did see Motlop. I think it was a Motlop that just blazed it to the middle of nowhere.
It's quite a few of them. Quite a few of those poor choices. Yeah.
Charlie Colonel, I did see one shot. He tried to have a shot, and I saw Jack Martin all open.
Yeah. Mate, we I know it's just poor decision making. Yeah.
And I tell you what, I just don't know what to say. It's just like, do you know where Brendan Bolton is now?
Who's at Collingwood? He's the assistant
Yeah,
coach.
and I'm just like, I actually found out this year. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because he's actually found out he's actually an assistant coach, not a head coach. You
Correct.
got some people that actually say, "Oh, he did crap as a head
Yeah.
coach, yeah, but he actually was more positioned for an assistant."
Yeah.
Maybe Tigers as well.
Anyway.
Now, I think Voss is at a 30th. Oh, I can't remember off by.
Yeah, we might, Anthony. We might move on from that one.
Yeah.
But mate,
But
thank you so much
I
for
don't have
joining.
any questions left, everyone.
No, that's okay.
It's just going to be the same thing repeating, mate.
All good,
I'm gonna
mate.
go
Thank
to
you so
bed.
much for joining. I really appreciate
Cheers,
it.
man.
You have a good night.
You too, mate.
See you, mate. Adam.
Hello, Terry.
Hey,
Terry.
mate.
Hi. I'm Mark's brother, right? Mark's been banned from this show, but I thank God, unlike Mark, I will talk in a bit more civilized manner. First time on the show,
Welcome.
right?
Mark
Thank
retired. He's not banned.
He's retired. Good, retired. I'm glad because he's a bit. Mark is just, Mark. That's fine. I just wanted to get a few things off my chest because obviously 25, my whole life, Carlton's my life, always has been my life. But I think things like the club and the chairman and the board and the coaches, I think that's all excuses. At the end of the day, you're a professional athlete, right? There is a certain responsibility that you take with being a professional athlete, right? And it shouldn't matter about who the coach is or who the board is. The board's not kicking the ball for you or handballing it to your mate or tackling the opposition, right? We just need to have pride in ourselves. Forget not even the jumper, just as a person, be proud of what you do. We all get up every morning and you go to work, I go to work, people do their whatever they want in their lives. There's no way you can collectively as a group go, I'm proud of myself and of my teammates in any of the performances of like the last 10 weeks. And even in the season, even in the wins were lackluster, poor wins too, if you really think about it, with the excuse of West Coast in the middle of that, right? And I know, like, I think we give them too many excuses. There's too many cop-outs about a lot of people. I've watched the whole fan camps tonight, and everyone's thinking, oh, overrun the club, like sack him, sack that, sack this, right? Like, it's not the coach. It's the coach does play a part, yes, but the players got to have the pride. The players have to have pride in what they're doing. If we just keep sacking coaches, right, then you got to get a new personality in, and then that coach's going to like 6 different blokes who didn't like those six different blokes, and then we're in the same spot. We're in a spot where a coach likes these guys but doesn't favour these guys, and then it just mixes around and goes in circles. And that's why Carlton do that rubbish for 12 years, and that's why even some guy did make a good point. Collingwood, like second last 2 years ago, Collingwood's trajectory like out of control. Even like a West Coast trajectory, they were like shit in 2015, then won a flag. Brisbane were god-awful winning spoons, and now they're up in the top 4, right? So all these clubs that since sort of the 2014 to 2018, like us, don't even get me started on Richmond, we're 13th and then won all these flags. You got to stay the course with some things. Like it's always like, oh, one loss, panic stations, throw the towel in, right? You just got to be a professional and go, I played shit today, right? This was not good enough. If I get dropped, I don't complain about it. I just get back in the twos and have 50. And I've said this, and I agree with this thing wholeheartedly. I don't care what anyone says. Harry Mackay needs to be dropped. It's not about the money, and it's not about, and you don't trade him, right? He needs to play in front of 2,000 people, Terry, and kick 15. He needs to have the ego brought down. He doesn't deserve to play in front of 85,000 fans. He should play in front of 2,000 fans on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock and understand that if you have to carry around and be better, be a professional. Because you know what? That snap today, and that in a crucial, I think it was probably 27 to 24 or some rubbish at that stage. That snap, when he got the free kick and it got touched on the goal line, is just, that's someone who doesn't care about the mids when we finally do take the corridor. They do the hard work. They get it into the forward line. He gets a free kick. And then that's how he rewards and treats the respect of his teammates, dishing up that shit.
Yeah, mate, it's
That's
tough.
disrespect.
I know it's difficult to single out Harry like that, but
No,
I get your point. The point is taken.
It's just an example of respect for your teammates, respect for people.
Mate, it's widespread. It's all
It
of
is.
them. It is. It's widespread. But Harry's obviously one that we need to be better. Oh, mate,
They all
I'm
need
trying
to
to
be
think.
better.
I got a
They all
question
need to
for
be
you.
better.
Before I let you go, I got a question for you. And this is something I've been thinking about for the last hour and a half. Who was our best player tonight?
Chera by mile. Tried hard. It was. I watched it at home tonight. I didn't go tonight.
Right.
Chera tried hard. Right. He actually broke tackles. He actually wanted to tackle someone. No one wanted to tackle anyone tonight. Right. And then he actually did hit some targets when he was in the corridor and going inside 50.
Yeah.
And that was one of the very few. I think that guy, I just want to end on that guy who said, I think it was, might have been Ed, the guy who's saying that the good kickers, poor kickers, bad kickers, whatever that was. I think that's excellent analysis, excellent segment on how to segregate guys, because we would have easily 12 out of the 22 that are poor kickers. And and 6 of them can go.
Yeah. Adam, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in and thanks for calling up, mate.
No worries. Thanks, Terry.
See you, mate. Now, Ur has donated 50 Blue Abroad memberships to you guys in the chat. So give him a big shout out. Thank you very much. Also, just quietly, there's 23 subscribers to go until we hit 10K. So if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Steffi, my sister.
Oh. Hey,
From Dubai. Welcome.
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 Oh my God, what are we doing?
It's painful, mate. It's painful.
I mainly came on to cheer you up because I just couldn't watch you anymore like this. You know when I realized how bad it was when you started eating on fan cams. Like crunching and munching into the microphone. I'm like, nah, he's done. He's had enough.
They can get fucked.
Yeah,
No.
agree.
Yeah. We've got to find a way to enjoy it. It's part of the therapy, you know.
No, you're right. You're right.
What'd you make of the game?
Like I went in, I felt like it was going to be bad, but
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I'm going to be honest.
Our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck.
Yeah. Literally, yeah. I didn't think it would be that bad. Like third quarter, by that point, I don't want to be crude, but we just gave up. Like and it's hard to watch from afar. Like I was saying to you before the game, I've been missing home, watching from afar. Today, I really wanted to be there. I just really wanted to be with you. I wanted to be at the ground. And then halfway through, I'm like, thank fuck I'm not there.
Fuck you weren't. I know.
Yeah, like, why do I want to be there?
Yeah, you're missing nothing. I was the
Like-
same before the game. Yeah.
I think like everyone says a lot on fan cams and behind the scenes and whatever, and I get that we go game by game, week by week, but I really think that it's just done.
Yeah.
Like the club's done for. We're not I said to you before, we're not Carlton anymore. We're just, I don't even know what we are anymore. There's nothing left and they just need to start again. I don't know how that happens. How did that even happen? Can they do that now?
I don't know. Like you got to cut. Well, the department needs a shake up, no doubt.
Yeah.
They're going to probably announce a review soon. I would say by tomorrow, an internal review or something.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through 10 weeks of that. And then Malakias, mate. That's what we're going to go through. So thank goodness. I was like, yeah, I miss you. Like, wish you were here. Mate, it was disgusting tonight.
Lucky Femi and I weren't there.
Yeah.
He's a broken man.
Yeah.
He's broken.
But we have wine. We have chips.
Yes. What are you eating? What chips?
A lot of the fries.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll let other people get on. I just wanted to sort of say hi.
Thanks for coming and cheering me up.
Love you.
Love you. Miss you. Bye.
Miss you. Bye.
You're going to make me cry, mate. Sayaf.
Good to see you, bro. What's happening? Don't cry, bro. You gotta laugh. Because if you don't laugh, you're definitely gonna cry.
I know. Yeah.
Right,
It's
did you just say internal
mate,
review?
mate, they ruined their season in half a year. In half a season, they ended it. It didn't even get to round 23 like last year.
Nah, bro. It's crazy, bro. Like, I can't believe I just heard you say internal review. Bro, that
Yeah.
happened 2 years ago, bro. We haven't moved forward. Literally, we moved forward last year. We've just gone back to the same place we were in 2021. Like, dead ass. That's sickening. What, man? What are we
I
doing
don't.
here?
Yeah, I know.
What are we doing here, Ray?
Yeah. It's I don't know. Like you got to kind of find. I mean, as a fan, like you got to find new meaning now. For the year. It's like, why are you going? What hope? I mean, you go with the family, with partners, with friends, and but like, okay, let's say tonight, I
Yeah.
was with 2 really close friends. Yeah, okay, we had a memory, but I'm not going to remember this game. I'm going to want to forget about it as much as quickly as I can. Like it's gross, mate.
100%, bro. Like, that first quarter, man, wasteful in front of goal. Just set up the rest of the game. But we had 3 goals at halftime. In the first 5 minutes of that third quarter, they kicked 3 goals.
Yeah.
Game over. That's it. Finished right there and then. I was sitting with Rocco tonight. Like, we're past the angry stage. For me, the last time I actually felt pure and genuine frustration was probably the Western Bulldogs game.
Mhm.
After that, I said it a couple of times, it's just an acceptance of this club's just, it is what it is, you know what I mean? We'll still go every week, but it's at a point where you know what you're going to expect now, and there's just too much going on. You can't single out players, bro. It's beyond players. It's beyond the coach. It can't be the coach. How can we go through 3 coaches and now sack a 4th one and that be the answer? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. Or
Yeah, because that's the
entry-
question. Like, did they get that wrong with the 3 coaches? Like, are all 3 that badly incorrect? Like Bolton, we did an external panel. Teague, we did the external. Sorry, yeah, Bolton, we did that external panel with Ange Postecoglou and whatever. They appointed him. Teague was obviously okay. Yeah, he was the caretaker, and we
I
went
think
with
we
him.
let Teague play out the whole season, and it happened in the off season, didn't it?
Yeah. And then Voss was I don't even know, bro.
Like, was that first 10 rounds last year the best memory of footy we're going to have for the next however long? Like, that's crazy, yeah? And it's a genuine possibility, like that actually may be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Like the entries, bro, tonight, we never kick to advantage, right? Let's talk about the game for a bit. I know you got people going on, but we never kick to advantage ever. We dump it on our forwards' heads, no matter if it's a tall forward or a small forward. It's either behind them or it's on top of their head, never to a lead. No will to tackle or anything. There's one player that takes on the game, and it's Mitchell Govan. That's it. Everyone else save kicks. Like, bro, Lewis Young, 1-on-1. The second you look back at your opponent to see how far he's going to jump over your shoulder, you've lost the contest. Simple as that. The second you take your eye off the ball, that's it. It's done. I asked Rocco at 3/4 time, like, do you think they actually want to win? Or is it more they're scared of losing or they don't want to lose? Which one is it? Do you want to win or do you not want to lose?
Yeah.
Because of how much pressure they cop now, week in, week out, and it's only getting more and more. It's started from that Adelaide game this year, and it's just getting more and more and more with each week that passes by. And now, what are you playing for the rest of the season? The season's done. Like, I can't believe we're saying that at round 13 that the season's done.
Gone.
It's done, bro. Like, what are you documenting, bro, now? Like, for the rest of the season, what are you wasting your time? It's not even spending time no more. What are you wasting your time for the rest of this season? Like, what are we actually reviewing and talking about and looking forward to?
Yeah, I think it's really just it's just part of the story long term. It is like we got to look ahead until like the fact that it's round 13 and I'm now saying we've got to look to 2024. Like I'm not accepting mediocrity or anything like that, but like this is real. It's dead. It's
No,
dead.
you're not accepting mediocrity, but you're accepting that that's what's happening and that's what's gonna happen.
When's the last time we scored like over 80 points? Like
80
85,
points, bro. We're
80
struggling
points.
to break 60, bro. Breaking 60 is our ton now. Literally. Bro, like before, bro, the last time we've experienced a game in Melbourne was North Melbourne when I sat with you. Do you know how long ago that was? When we sat together at that North Melbourne game was the last time I've experienced a win in person. Bar the West Coast game. Michael, I didn't go, obviously.
We scored.
That's the last time we won.
We scored 152 against West Coast,
Yeah.
and then we haven't gone over 77. Sorry. What am I talking about? We haven't gone over 74. We scored 74 points against the Lions the week after that.
That's sick, bro.
Mate,
Sickening.
sickening. Yeah,
Fuck,
it is.
Genuinely sickening, bro.
Yeah.
But what do you do? Bro, you know what's fun fact? Hawthorn's 2 points behind us on the ladder.
Believe it.
But bro, we'll be there next week. We'll be there the week. I'll be there every single week, and I know what to expect every single. No, sorry. I'm gonna rephrase. I don't know what to expect every single week. That's the sad part. Bro, they could come out next week and absolutely belt Gold Coast, which obviously I have no right to even expect. What would it mean? Nothing, bro.
Anyway, say off.
Was your food alright at least, bro?
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah. They're not real nuggets. Like, that's a bit weird to me. The onion rings were good.
You need the real shit, bro.
Yeah, bro. Anyway, mate.
Speak to
thanks
you,
for coming on. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Good talking to you, bro. Take it easy.
See ya. Ur with the 20 says Basha Hooley has had a severe car accident and has been flown to hospital. Prayers for him. Yeah. I'm not aware of that, but certainly hope he's okay. Matt.
G'day, Terry. How you going?
I'm all right, mate.
Yeah, no, I'll be pretty quick. I just wanted to get your thoughts on a few things. What do you think of Scoop, Sammy McClure's comments last week about, the internal stuff that's going on in the club, and what's your thoughts on all
that? What are my thoughts on that? Well, they're not. I don't know if they're real.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's a suggestion that's been made.
Yeah.
I've heard noises about it. But without being inside the four walls, I mean, how can I?
Yeah.
How can I know?
Yeah. It's just obviously, I think. Oh, look, I've checked out a long time ago. It's interesting to see everyone's thoughts and opinions, and I've obviously watched this off and on occasionally, every now and again, just to see other supporters' thoughts. And yeah, it's just look, I've definitely got my own different opinions and thoughts on everything, but I just personally think the way they've recruited this playing list. What's your thoughts on that? Like, because do you think personality and leadership qualities play a role? I get you can recruit players that have got an immense amount of skill, talent, but do you think, like, you look at the really good sides, they've just got such strong leaders in their team. Do you think that that's something that we haven't necessarily, like, when we've recruited players, they seem to all be very similar in a way, like quite introverted. I'll just get your thoughts on it. What do you think? Do you think that's just neither here nor there, or?
No, I think there's, again, don't know. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Don't know. But if like my guess, I would hazard a guess that whatever development we've put into them, whoever's been responsible for their development, as their skill development, their leadership development, these things, that hasn't been up to scratch. My biggest fear is that they've been set up to fail. The foundations were not put in place the way they should have been. And if that's the case, it's never going to happen. That's my deepest fear.
Yeah.
And if it never happened with this group, then we're going to go through what we just watched with the Murphy Gibbs Cruiser era. They may make a final in 2-3 years' time, but they'll never really seriously contend. And so there's a fear. There's a fear of that.
Yeah, and that's the thing I've been saying to some friends as well. It's like, what leaders did Cripps have to walk into, and some of these other guys, like guys have had no success or haven't really tasted anything.
Yeah.
Like it's. I mean, look, you could delve into that.
I mean, to be fair, Judd was around when Cripps was first
That's
there.
true.
He was,
Yeah,
he was
Judd was
towards
there,
the
yeah.
end.
Judd was there. Yeah.
But again, Judd's one man.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think, like you look at since Bolton took over and the whole rebuild, and like, gosh, it's just I mean, I've checked out a long time ago. Like, Jad's funny. I've listened to Jad a few times, and I'm him 2 years ago. Just like, but I just the way I see it at the moment, I don't know, like,
yeah.
What do you say? Like,
mind blowing, mate. No, it is. It is.
Like, there's nothing left to
It
say.
is.
Like, there's just nothing left to say. Like, you just. I don't know. Like, I'm speechless. I honestly don't know how they're going to get themselves out of this. But when you hear rumors like, that was reported last week about, individual players having differences of opinions, and
I hope they have. Well, to be fair, I hope they're having differences of opinion.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 100%.
Like, I would hope they're fucking arguing on the inside with each other. To be honest with you, I'd hope that that's the case. I'd hope they're not seeing eye to eye, as in, and arguing over getting better. But yeah. I mean, rumors are going to come. More will come this week. There'll be a new one coming up in the next 48 hours. I don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah, of course.
It's going to be something. Someone's going to come in and make a comment. So, like, it's, we just got to weather the storm. That's what it is.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to quickly say, I saw an interview from Bolton. Obviously, he's gone to Collingwood now and assistant coach.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing him. I don't know whether you saw that interview. You might have. But he was pointing out, they asked him a question, what's some of the biggest things that you've noticed since you've been in Collingwood, from your time in Hawthorn and Carlton? And he said, on-field leadership and kicking skills. As the two big things that he's noticed since he's been at Collingwood: on-field leadership and skills. And that's the one thing I think we keep crying out for, is those two things.
Pretty much.
And obviously, he's been at Carlton, so he knows. Yeah.
Anyways, well, mate, no worries. Thanks for coming on, and appreciate you coming and sharing your thoughts.
No worries, mate. Take care.
See ya. Ari Stamatakos.
What's up?
I saw your stat tonight.
Into it?
Yeah, I don't know where you get them from, but I want to know. Maybe you can't tell me now because there's 1,200 people watching, but
The magician never reveals his secrets.
I'll be finding out those secrets, mate. Don't worry about that.
Oh, Mr. Diplomatic person over here doesn't reveal anything and wants me to reveal all mine.
No, you can just tell me later.
Yeah, sure.
All right, no one's watching. Everyone's gone home. No one's watching the fan cams right now.
Man to man, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Mm.
What was that? What was that?
What was that? That was the death of something.
Something nice? Something.
What was your moment tonight where it was like, all right, pack it up, it's over? Do you have was there a specific moment for you? Because I've got one, and I'm curious to see if ours is the same.
Look, I mean, the whole game's a blur.
Yeah.
Involuntary.
Yeah.
Probably when like 2 meter Peter just decides he's going to kick 5. I think it might have been his 4th. No, actually, it was the one where he marked it on the ground in the 3rd quarter.
Mate.
And
We're aligned. It was in the 3rd quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. We marked it, and then I was like, yeah, this sucks, hey.
Yep.
What? It's funny, right? Like, is it? I don't know. Like, are we just all kind of obsessed with the Schadenfreude of like we have to laugh, right? You can't not. But realistically, if you obviously sports, we all like, it's weird. This is so strange because if you watch a TV show and it disappoints you time and time again, you eventually stop watching.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a person time and time again and they annoy you or they give you the shits countless times in a row, you stop hanging out with them, right? Same thing with every sort of two-way kind of medium. You stop it, right?
Yeah.
And we're here this week. We'll be here next week, and the week after, the week after that, in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. We're still going to be here. For what reason, though? Why? Would the eventual win of a premiership, if, outweigh the last 20 years in terms of pain to happiness factor? Really?
You know what? As you've said all of that, it raised a question to me. It's like, what are we hanging on to as supporters? Because I don't think our allegiances are with the players anymore. Our
No.
allegiances are with the club and the community and the family aspect of it.
It's an idea. It's an idea. The idea of the Carlton Football Club, because it doesn't exist. Like, it doesn't. The Carlton Football Club that my dad loves, that is not the same Carlton Football Club that I love, and the Carlton Football Club that you love is not the same as the one that your sister loves, or I do, or anyone.
Yeah.
It's completely different. Yet, we're all aligned under this Carlton Football Club banner. It's strange. It's strange.
So true, mate. Yeah.
I don't like if you. I mean, tune in Wednesday night, Blue Broad show the rest, right? We don't Blue Broad the rest. We don't speak about Carlton, and I can't shut up. And the show goes for about an hour and a half because me and Nathan love the sound of our own voices. Apparently, right? I'm also me, but tonight I was just like, what now? Where do we go from here? Is it another wasted year? What even is a wasted year though? Because it's only a waste if you don't take anything out of it, right? Surely we can take a lot out of this year, right? You'd like to think anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to find out for the rest of the year who's staying with us moving forward. It's quite a few of them out of contract, right? And there's quite a few of them in contract who we may decide don't fit what we're trying to do. But this is the hard part, because let's say you keep Boss and you bring in players to fit what he wants or his style or whatever. Then what happens if it turns to shit halfway through next year? You sack him, or you just brought players in that you brought in to match his game plan. Like, this is what I'm saying earlier. Like, it's like so many layers and complexities to everything, and we just want to win. Fans we just want to enjoy the football again.
Yeah, and look, the criticism maybe, and I think it's valid at times, is the foundations you mentioned as well. The foundations, wins and losses don't matter, etc., right? Back in the bowl in 2017, 2016, etc. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the same vein, that's completely valid criticism. But in the same vein, you look at this year, and then everyone's saying, "All right, get rid of everyone, play the kids, like get rid of McGovern, anyone who's not going to be here, get Bins in, get fucking anyone, right? Just get rid of half the team that played, and bring in new players." Is that our best team? Surely our best team, like, we got as close to our best team as we got today. And if wins and losses, if the criticism of the wins and losses don't matter, if that's valid, then how can you say, let's drop half of our best players?
Yeah, I know.
Or half of our better. Like, drop Harry, drop Cripps, drop Wiedering. Okay, but I thought wins and losses matter. Surely they're the players that are going to help you win games more often than not, no?
Yeah. Mate, listen, that's making a lot of sense to me. But unfortunately, everything else doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, what do you do? Where do you go? What's the discourse this week? Is it the same as last week? Is it the same as before?
They rolled out the content this week, all about the past and the history and the club and the rivalry. I liked it. I was like, okay, at least it's about football.
Yeah, and at least
yeah,
it's honouring something.
What they do this week,
the idea was to honour something.
I don't know what it's going to be this week. I don't know. There'll be some feel-good stories in there, no doubt. Get us going again. But listen, it's tough. It's tough for everyone involved. Everyone. Players, staff, media team, everyone. Like, it feels like everything they do is just wrong.
Yeah. No, like, last year, and you relate it, right? The perception around anything, a team, a person, organization, whatever. When it's going good, the perception and what's highlighted are always the good stuff. So if you look at last year, look at the discourse through fans and through the media throughout the week of like in midweeks of games was, oh, how good was this Cripps bump that he laid to, or this Shepherd, or this unselfish handball or whatever, right? All this like delicate stuff that gets praised. And then this year it's, oh, Jesse Motlop gave up on a chase that he was never going to get anyway, but he only did that to protect the player. Like the negative side of things is always highlighted. And we always say we got to stick fat, got to stick together, got to make sure that we're all together in this. And yet all the negative stuff are highlighted, all the negative stuff is highlighted, which only amplifies the anger and only amplifies the frustration, which then causes the circle of anger, frustration, disappointment, which causes division. And then you can't have a united football club with division in the fan base. And then do we get united? Like as a fan base, do we get united? But then again, the club clearly is not united in one common goal right now. There's whether it's legitimate factions in the club. I'd hope it isn't, but you can clearly tell not everyone's on the same page. So it's like, do we drive it, or do they tell us what's happening and then we follow?
Yeah, they are good questions, and questions we're going to find out soon.
Will we?
Yeah, we're going to find out the truth. Unfortunately, every time we find out the truth, we find out more and more how dysfunctional our beautiful, great. Wait, oh my God. Carlton people are the only people in the world that think Carlton is a great club.
I think we
have a greater sense of what we are than everybody else. Everyone else laughs at us.
Yeah, it's because we have this idea driven into us by the discourse that was prevalent throughout the week of the past, the 16 flags, etc. Whereas in reality, you saw what happened literally 4 hours ago. That's the Carlton Football Club.
Fuck yeah.
That is the Carlton Football Club.
Yeah.
The Carlton, like I said before, Carlton Football Club is not the fucking 95 team that won it. That's not the Carlton Football Club. That was the Carlton Football Club.
Yeah.
The current Carlton Football Club did that.
Yeah. Well, Ari, we fight to live another day, mate.
Do we have to? Really?
Yeah. We got 10 more games, mate.
Great. Lovely.
I wonder how much more down the rabbit hole they're going to make us go. Can't wait to find out.
Quickly, how many games do we win for the rest of the year? Give me a number. It can be 0, and I wouldn't blame you.
I think once the sting of finals and making it leaves, there'll be like a pressure release, and they'll start playing well, and we'll be even more angry at them. So I'm going to say 3 to 4 more.
Oh, that's depressing. Jesus Christ. That is, oh my God. I thought you were going to say like 7. I was like, no, 3 to 4. No. We're going to play Collingwood again, and Melbourne, and Port. That's going to be fun.
Thank you. Yep.
It's all right, because we got West Coast at Marvel, so we'll rack up a 2-point win, and it'll all be great. But oh well,
mate, you go have a great night.
Oh, that's unbelievable. It's great. You too, friend.
All right, my friend. See ya.
See you, mate.
Josh.
Mate, we're just shitburger.
We're what?
Shitburger. We are so bad.
It's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
Nah, I'll be honest. Unlike, I know you said you enjoyed the club talking about the rivalry and all that during the week, mate. None of that happened during my lifetime. So stories
True.
and all, but I can't resonate with any of it.
It's a very good point. So how old are you?
I'm 20.
So 2003 you were born.
02.
02 you were born. So 7 years after that 95 premiership and a few years after that 99 prelim. Yeah, that whole period, you don't feel nothing for that, right? That doesn't mean anything.
look, I love hearing the stories and seeing the videos and all that, but I literally cannot resonate with it because I wasn't alive for any of it to even experience it.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Get you thinking. That's insane to me to think about it like that. Like, it barely resonates with me. I was 4 years old when we won the flag in '95. I don't really remember it. I remember watching it on tape years later. I don't remember the actual year. I barely remember '99. I remember flashbacks of the grand final. I don't really remember the prelim being a big deal. I just don't have that memory. But there's a lot of people that are probably still watching this right now who grew up watching 4, 5, 6 flags. Like your dad watched multiple flags.
Yeah.
There are people that watch this channel that might get a little frustrated with the younger generation and the way that we see things.
Yeah.
But we don't have the same perception of what this club is. It's a totally different experience.
Yeah, correct, 100%. And you hear the stories and all that. Like, it's completely different to what I've experienced. I feel like an absolute loser supporting this club. Like, I hate it, but I love it. I get sucked in. That's the truth.
Wow.
But to bring up a few points. So all the pre-game stuff was great, but I think Paulo said it. Honor the past by playing excellent football, right? Instead of just saying, all this stuff that we've been, like the players coming out in the media and all that, just play good footy. That's the best way to honor the past. Also, I actually coached the basketball team when I was in year 10, 11. Obviously, that's nothing compared to what Michael Voss is doing, right? He's coaching a bunch of professional footballers. But I wanted to say, with my experience, right, I had a good team, right? But I'll tell you right now, one bad egg can just create complete disconnect. So if there's any disconnect going on in that group, and it will ruin it for all of them. There'll be nothing. They all have to be connected. That was my experience when coaching.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
So I think that's pretty important. So look, I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to be, sourcing rumors and all that. But if the rumors are true, if there's any, validity to it, it's not good, right? Yes, they should be having questions amongst the playing group about each other, about the game plan and all that. But factions and all that, like, shit, this is going downhill, and it's going downhill pretty quickly.
Yeah. Mate, spoken with class. Respect. I
And
like it.
my last point. So this is a bit of this goes back to the Collingwood game. So side bottom laughing at us, right? That really shits me, right? Because when I played sport and all that, anyone that would look at me or laugh at me, myself, I'd go after them. My teammates would go after them. They're gone. They're gone. We're gonna win, right? Last year, Ed Langdon came out in the media and called Collingwood a one-trick pony. Mate, they went after him when they played him. The tackles and all that. Where's that with us? We don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
There's no self-respect.
True.
They don't care, mate. Money, go home, sleep, play shit football, repeat.
Yeah. Well, Josh, love having you on, mate. Thanks for joining.
As always, mate, and I'll see you next week.
See you, mate.
Go Blues.
Go Blues, mate. Kareem the Dream.
What's going on, mate? I'll keep it quick. It's funny when you check out, because I've checked out a long time, probably since the Adelaide game, to be honest with you, mate. You see things very clearly, and I don't know if I'm being a bit delusional, but who cares? But I think Voss is not the problem. No, not even an inch of a problem. When you're seeing players, we all see it, but when you're seeing them missing kicks, not chasing, Lewis Young tonight, mate, he looked like Bambi on ice tonight against Jimmy Peter. You just see things very clearly, and I don't want to question other blokes. One of the guys that said that Patrick Cripps, you should drop him for captaincy and stuff, but my question would be is, who's going to be captain then?
Yeah,
Like,
true.
who would you replace Cripps?
It's a good question. Who shows leadership? Because like right now we're in the shit. So
Yeah.
who would you say has been standing up consistently through these shit times? And my mind goes straight to Adam Chera. Now I don't know if that means he's a captain option or a leader. I genuinely think, hand on heart, even though we've been terrible in the last 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, whatever you want to call it, I would still say Chera has been outstanding.
Yeah, I totally agree. But you know, it's fun. Like I know Cripps' form's been like he hasn't been as great, but I still think he's a great leader, Cripps, this year. I still think like you got to think about it. This guy. He's been captain since what, 22, 23? Really, if you think about it, he's been the only captain, and he takes so much heat, and you can tell that he plays with injuries. He takes a lot of heat, and it pisses me off when I see players like. I'm not going to name any names, but when I see players just not giving any effort, like look at your captain, mate. Like you can tell he's playing with like he has injury. And I don't want to give no excuses to Cripper because once you're on the field, you're 100% fit. But like, mate, go help him out. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just losing it, mate. But like, I just really I feel sympathy for Cripps and what's his name, Vossi. Same with Voss. Like, where's the assistants, mate? Remember last year when everything's great, the assistants come. Oh, look at the assistants we've got. But now that everything's down, it's just all Vossi's fault. But yeah, that's just me, mate. Like, yeah, that's it, really, mate. That's what I got to say. Yeah,
fair. No, I appreciate you coming
actually,
on.
one more thing, mate. Sorry, mate. One thing.
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to say, if we don't stick with Voss, I think we're going backwards. You see what happened with Dimmer, mate. You remember it, 2016. You stick with him. You see what happens, mate. You go back to premierships. I think everybody just thinks it's going to be a quick fix, sack him. Get a new coach in. But yeah, that's me, mate.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Have a good night, mate.
You too, man. All right. We've got 2 more. I got Lewis, I got Riley, and we've got 4 more subscribers until 10K. Surely this is it, right? This is it. We're going to hit it tonight. Lewis.
Well, listen, all you can do is laugh. All you can do is laugh now because this is becoming a joke.
It is becoming a joke. What was your number one main takeaway from tonight? Structure it for me. Let's break it down.
All right.
Number one, takeaway.
So, what I think to me in this club, it's not functioning well. The group is not communicating. They are they're playing for themselves. They're not playing for each other. Like there's so many times where we are not clean enough. We are not like look at Collingwood, look at Port Adelaide. The way they move the ball forward is that they have system. They have a direction. With that, they're able to create opportunities. That is what a good team does. But I'm going to be honest, and I said this before, Terry. I said it against the Brisbane game, and I'm saying it again. We're not winning games with Ed Kerner in the side. And what has happened from then against Brisbane to now? We've lost. We lost so many games with Ed Kerner in the side. I'm not blaming Ed Kerner for being the problem, all right? I'm blaming the selection integrity team because they need to put in the best list in order to get the best result in the game, all right? Another thing is that I feel like Brad Lloyd and probably like Pat Kingsley, what Jad said, they need to go when they're not making good decisions for the club. Let's be honest. We have been making poor decisions. We had a chance to get Adam Kingsley from the Giants. And look what he's been doing. They have been great. Look, they are actually above us now.
They are.
That's just making me laugh.
Yeah.
Because we had a chance to get him. We also absolutely stuffed up Ross Lyon because of kind of respect. Because of something that had no evidence. And that's funny to me because now I have a feeling like how the kind of board just sees it as a business. But us fans, we see it as a club that wants success. We want success.
Yeah,
We are willing to do anything to get success from this club. No matter what we do, no matter how much we hate the way they play, no matter how much we just go absolutely ballistic of this game plan our boss is trying to do, we will stick by them no matter what. But what are they doing to repay us?
Yeah, I know.
What is giving us a chance to go, you know what? We're going to attend the next week game. You know what?
Lewis.
I'm going to invite everyone. Next week, don't go. Following week, don't go. It's not good enough. I'm sorry, but it's bad. It's just bad.
I know. Take a deep breath. And it's all going to be okay.
Hey, before I go,
one more thing. Yep, let's move on.
The only positive that came out today for me is that I feel sorry for you guys. Because next week, I'm leaving. I'm going to Europe. I'm leaving overseas. I'm not watching this anymore. I am done. It's done. I'm so happy.
Go and live your life and be happy, my friend.
I'll be thinking of you guys watching this.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Enjoy.
See you, man. Go Blues.
All right, one more.
Wow.
Riley.
What a horrible evening that was. What a horrible.
The Bombers.
I talked myself into grand delusion that we'd somehow turn up this week and the rest of the year was going to be crap, but that was horrible. And I think when you're a side that, you know, skill level right now is poor, structurally we're poor, but effort's free. And I seriously question the effort there tonight. If you look at some of the key stat indicators, you know, you barely break even in contested possession. You lay 31 less tackles. Your running stats are poor all night. It was just really soul destroying after halftime. And we are at a massive crossroads. And to be honest, this is probably the worst year. If we talk the 8-year journey since 2015, this is probably turning into the worst one of the lot. And I didn't think it could be worse than 2021, but here we are.
There's like a guilty, sadistic feeling where it's like, can they really try and make it worse? And then I think having lived through 2021 and knowing how that one played out, and this one's got awfully similar sentiment to it. So therefore you can draw on that experience. Mate, we said it a few weeks ago. It's going to get worse. And lo and behold, it's getting worse.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, you watch, I think there's a real interesting parallel when you look at, you know, if you talk about effort indicators of players out in the field, the ones that seem uncompromising in the way they go about generally on this playing list are the ones that have been there for the least amount of time. Like Adam Chera, George Hewitt when he goes and runs out, Alex Chincotta, those sort of blokes, you're like, yeah, you absolutely crack it. Jordan Boyd's incredibly limited, you know, a lot would say, but he has a fucking dip. And then you look at some others that have been there for a while, and it's like the parallels are stark. Like it beggars belief. Even fundamentally in terms of shape around marking contests and general stoppage contests, it's all lost at the moment. Yep. I think we probably, you know, you can speculate structurally what we've tried to do, evolve the game. I genuinely think they're spooked from what happened in the last year. They're traumatized. And that has led to this. And now we're in a massive, massive mess. And we have enormous decisions to make on this group at the end of the year. And if people just think it's, you know, the footy boss and the coach, they're wrong. It's the playing list. Because, and I think I said this to you a few weeks, they're just not good enough. They're not good enough.
Yeah, it's sad because they weren't. I mean, there's a part of it where it's on them as players to take ownership for their own careers. And then it's quite evident that the way that they were set up for success from the beginning was obviously out of whack and misaligned. And unfortunately, if you don't get those fundamentals right from the beginning, they catch up with you later on.
They've absolutely caught up now, and we've made. Don't get me wrong, we have made some massive development mistakes over the journey, and we've got some wrong. But just because we've made those mistakes doesn't mean we need to double and triple down on them. At some point, you've just got to pull the cord for the betterment of the club long term, and in some ways, betterment of their careers for some of these players. If they've got a future in the AFL, I don't necessarily think it's an entire rebuild, blow everything up on that playing list, but I think it's a significant retool. That could be a couple of years of stagnation, maybe go backwards and then be able to contend in a couple of years, because I think, it's really alarming. I think there's a lot of players, as I said, they're traumatized. The on-field leadership, I think, is incredibly poor. I don't think you can really identify it out there at the moment. I think there's, not many that really stand up under the heat of pressure. You can identify some week to week, maybe a couple semi-consistently. It's just when one thing goes right, another thing goes wrong. It just doesn't mesh. It's square peg, round hole is honestly what it is at the moment. Square peg, round hole.
Yeah.
And I don't see us being able to fix that. And I think tonight was, I don't know about you, I think probably if we look at Carlton social media and all that this year, there's been a lot of vitriol, I think, still towards, to an extent, probably the administration. Tonight, I think, was the first time at the ground where I felt it pretty much directed onto the players and how they were going about it. I don't know. Do you get the same vibe?
Yeah, I think the last few weeks in particular, I sense the same, because I mean the pressure's always been on the admin or the coaches or these people. My sense over the last few weeks on the fan cams has been, the players seem to cop it a little bit more every time. And I think tonight, when you see 10 players not lay a tackle in the first half, when you see 6 total tackles in the third quarter, and then when you see 7 players without a tackle in 4 quarters, and then you see 33 total tackles for the team against the fucking Essendon Football Club, you're like, is that an effort indicator? Are they not playing for him anymore? Like it's have they shriveled up so much under the pressure? Like,
you mentioned an interesting point there, and I came to this conclusion about a couple of months ago. How many actually can deal with playing for the Carlton Football Club? I think if you ask these blokes deep down, would they rather play for, a middle of the road, no disrespect to other clubs in the AFL, but a club that's semi, success, but not a big club, or play for Carlton? I think they'd probably answer the former. They don't want to deal with the pressure that comes with it.
No, they want to enjoy the sport. I mean, they do. They enjoy being part of the club, and unfortunately, we've been saying it over the last few weeks. I was on the Jumper Punch last Tuesday, and it came up, and we were saying, like, it's too big for them. It's because let's just say you rebuild or you reset and you nuke it, for example, and you start again. That does not remove the expectation from us, the fans, about us being this great, mighty club, and we stand for success. And John Elliott said second place is not good enough. Like, that doesn't go away. That doesn't go away if you start again with a new person, a new coach. It doesn't remove itself. So that's where I get a bit confused with the sack 'em all and bring a new crop in, because you just buy time for 2 years. We're going to get back to the same difficulty, and when we get back to the same difficulty, which is exactly what we're feeling right now, we're going to say the same thing. All right, sack Dimmer. All right, sack Uze, or sack Harris, whoever it is. So
it's very much a revolving cycle, and I think it goes much deeper than a coaching group. It's almost a question of who we are, like culturally, like what do we expect, and if we're going to stick out, or if we want to go down that rebuild, are we going to show that patience, or are we going to set it up differently? I'd like to think we'd learn from the mistakes, because you look at this journey, it's probably been the most painful rebuild in AFL history with the least results. let's be honest.
Mm.
So if we decide to go down that retool road, I really hope we've learned our lesson. And I think and just before we finish up, I think the quandary is going to be, if we go down that route, you're going to have players that you're obviously going to want to keep, but they've been there for a while, and they're probably going to be like, "Fuck this, I want to get out too."
Yeah.
Because it's like, you like say your Weederings and your Mackay's and all them, whether you want to keep them or not, they've been there 8-10 years. Like, fuck, we got to go through this again. That's why it's so difficult to be like, okay, pull the trigger. So it's Carlton's in a horrible position right now. I don't envy them at that high level about what we're going to do, because the impact either way can be very significant for the future, and how long it can be to get to where we want to be. But I think what we can see tonight is this isn't it,
and we're still far away.
We are still far away. Before I go, shout out to my mate Dylan. I hate Essendon, but well done, good win. And Terry, mate, well done on 10K. It's been a journey to watch you. It's been great to see.
We hit it. It took it. It's taken me to the depths of everything, but we got there.
I just remember the COVID AFL evolution 2 days. That all the way back then to now. It's you should be proud of yourself, mate. It's been amazing.
Thanks. No, it doesn't come without a good team. Doesn't come without other people as well. So, I think I'll do a video during the week, maybe recapping the journey. But mate, thanks for being a part of it as well. And on to 100K, eh?
on to 100K. What? Just continuing to see the development of Stockholm syndrome following the Carlton Football Club.
Fucking hell. Riley, have a good night, mate.
See ya. Take care.
Cheers. Bye. And that's the fan cams. Order with the $50, 10K. Yes, we did it. Fuck. 10,000 subscribers. Thank you very much to those of you who rounded that out. And thank you very much to all 10,000 of you that have subscribed to the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. It has been a journey. I'll recap it probably throughout the week. I'll do a video for it. Those of you on YouTube still right now, you will see a link that is pinned for the 10K giveaway. So let me show you. Over the journey, I've collected a whole bunch of things, memorabilia, signed Guernseys, all sorts of things. So the link I've put in the chat right now will get you an entry into this. 3 chances to win. I've got Eddie Betts farewell t-shirt, Mark Murphy 300 game t-shirt in the packet, signed Corey Durden Guernseys, all sorts of shit in here. I'm giving it away. If we get 100 people, I'll make a deal. If we get 100 people to sign up for this, I'll put this thing up as well. So you have my word. We're going to draw it out on the 19th of June. So we'll do that. But yeah, obviously a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. This has been a special journey. Unfortunately, when it all began, I was certain that by this point in time, we would be good, or we would be watching a better team, but it isn't the case, and it's going to be a bit more pain to come, it looks like. So I don't know. At least we have somewhere to come together and hang out after a game now. So that's that. A shit night tonight, an awful result tonight, and I don't know how they're going to talk about it and what sort of words they're going to use to spin it off. But this has now, we're 13 rounds in, and it's pretty much over. So we'll see. See you tomorrow. Player ratings from 6 p.m. Blue Abroad show from 7 p.m. And the Almost Blues Brothers will be on straight after the Blue Abroad show, roughly 8:15. My review will be out tomorrow morning. I'm going to go get a nice sleep. We've been doing this for 2.5 hours. I'm going to go to bed, man. We're sick in the head. There's like 1,000 of you still watching. Anyway, thanks once again. Have a good night. Go Blues.